check Jess and Athena. Any preference in who goes next?
I'm happy to go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay.
Cool. I'm so happy to play from the comfort of my house because I always say that this like lying in bed is where my best guitar playing happens, and nobody sees that. So yeah. My band released a single or A-side, B-side, whatever you want to call, whatever that's called, in March. One of those songs is really old and the other one is really new. And this is the new one. New as and it's from like last year, and it's called About Time. And it goes like this. Oh, I did that wrong. No, I didn't. Okay, it goes. Sorry. It goes, ah!
Woohoo!
Won't you look at the time? I know I ought to get going. Won't you buy me some time? I know there can be fun in not knowing how my night's going to go. I tend to keep my expectations low. Isn't it about time I paused, trying to make meaning of confusing events that only occur when I am sleeping? He was a brief dream come true. I take comfort in things I thought I knew. Isn't it about time? Won't you buy me some time? Reflective pause that goes on a little too long. Oh no, nothing is wrong. I'm just taking in what you said. I'm making room in my heart, room in my head. Electric pause that goes on a little too long. Oh no, nothing is wrong. I'm just taking in what you said. I'm making room in my heart, room in my head. Isn't it about time? Won't you buy me some time?
Woohoo!
Thanks.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you have anything else you'd like to share about that song? Oh, you're muted.
I started to write that song last summer, the morning before me and my ex broke up, and I came up with that chord
I'll
progression.
say it on record. Fuck them.
Whatever, not even worth the energy. So I came up with that chord progression, and I really liked that, but I wrote this like dreadfully sad song about it, and decided that I liked the chord progression too much to let it go to that song, but just like wrote an entirely new song but with the same chords. But I'm actually releasing that really soon, because the like original version, because my friend like made an animation for it over quarantine as like a quarantine collaboration, because it was like some recording that I had lying around and we could collaborate on it in that way.
I love that. Yeah, you are just all your songs just make me feel like I'm in Venice and I'm on a gondola and I'm just there's a person with a guitar just playing and my heart is soaring. So wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, thank you.
I recently described Athena's music as the sound of falling in love, and truly it feels like that. Not to be corny on me, but big fan of my friend's music. With that, we'll turn to Jess, and if you want to play your first song, if there's anything you want to preface before it, if not, you want to just go straight for it.
Sure. Well, maybe the main preface I just sort of wanted to make when you asked us to share a little bit about songwriting process is that when I was a young kid, I wrote songs very intentionally. I learned about verse, chorus, and stuff, and I even like taught songwriting workshops a while back. And then I don't remember exactly when the shift happened, but at this point in my life, and maybe for the last 5 or more years, I've been doing entirely like stream of consciousness songs. So anywhere I am, if I'm traveling, if I'm in my car, if I'm at home, I just usually pull out a recorder or my phone or something and just hit record and play and sing. And then just if I like it, then I'll go back and learn one of them. So I don't really change much anymore. So this one was written like that back in 2015. I guess I could say more about it after, but I'll just play it. It's called Mostly Clouds and Light. Sorry for the squeaky pedal.
All perfect.
In your absence, I can still see you in my mind. I can open up my mouth to speak and swear that you still hear me somehow. And in my heart I sense your place. It's warm like liquid and it's sure like drowning. And sometimes I can't wait to tell you that I am mostly not People want you to be yourself, but myself is shaped by something else. And people, they want you to stand up tall when you feel so small. Yeah, I feel so small. Yeah, we all want people to play the game. People want to stand up tall when they feel so small. Yeah, they feel so small. And I want people to stand up tall when I feel so small. Yeah, I feel so small. Yeah, we all want someone to lead the way, but if there's no way, then who is the leader? Yeah, we all want people to lead the way.
Yeah, so good, so good.
Thanks.
Anyone ever wants to just like unmute for the clap, please? But
Oh, okay.
you're beautiful.
Wait, can I say real quick? I don't want to interrupt, but I want to say I got to see you like a year ago at like the little house in Hofstra, and I have always been so enamored with your vocal quality, and I'm so glad I got to see you again tonight.
Oh my God.
God.
I'm always expecting anything about my piano and never about my voice, because my piano is very trained and my voice is very untrained. So I
Well,
really
but like, and obviously your piano's beautiful, but like all together, like I just think it's so like magical and ethereal. So anyway, I
Oh my
wanted
God.
to say.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. So that song is actually, I guess the only thing that I didn't say about that song yet is that song is about anxiety, and it was written during intense anxiety. It was the day before I was about to play a show with somebody I really admired in the Grand Rapids, Michigan music scene, and she was about to come out to our tinier town by the lake and like play at some dive bar with me and another friend, Katie Mansfield, and I just felt really uncomfortable, and just, as I always feel, I've always had really bad show day nerves. And I would also like to just state for the record, this is the first time I've had a show day, as I call them, without show day nerves until like 20 minutes before, when I couldn't figure out the duct tape rigging up to my phone kind of thing. But so I'm feeling good about that. I decided to just let myself be in the moment all day and just enjoy the day, and saw some fall leaves, and kind of decided not to take myself or life so seriously. I don't know. Anyway, and that's not like not loving this show, but just anxiety is the worst. So I'm sure people can relate.
Yeah. Thank
We
you.
were actually, Athena and I were talking about that like right beforehand as well. Just Athena, not to put you on the spot, Athena, but Athena like texted
I
me.
have so much anxiety around online shows, and this is better because at least I can like kind of see some of the audience. But when it's like an Instagram live, I could die during that. It's like talking to myself and not receiving any like feedback from the audience,
Right.
or like just not engaging an audience, or like not being able to see how you're engaging an audience.
What a good thought. I could die on Instagram. I want that. I want that like as a as a forearm tat. That's so sick. Um, Something I also wanted to ask you both, and I also just wanted to further compliment you, Jess, like for that song, and I just want to compliment your voice. Like, I think it's for me, it's especially just like the blend of the two. Just like the piano playing is obviously like so like ethereal, um, but like for the voice to also be like ethereal, like for the voice to also feel like a dream, like that's like so special. Um,
Thank
wait,
you.
yeah, of course.
And this
Oh,
show that I watched, it's a Korean K or a K drama, and a trauma thriver. And if you tap your own shoulders crossed like this, it helps you heal childhood wounds.
that's so interesting.
Anyway,
Interesting.
that was just me saying thank you.
No, yeah, of course, of course. I feel like I've heard like similar research as well. Um, what I want to ask as well was,
Bryan.
you had mentioned like about like your piano playing feeling very trained and your voice feeling very untrained. And this actually was like the first question I had for both of you, and part of why I wanted to bring you both together. Um, because I think you both come from very like trained backgrounds, and I think that's really interesting to me as someone that learned how to play the guitar kind of by force. Um, just of like I just really wanted it, and I was bad for like a decade, and now I think I'm like comparable. But it was like but to have that formal training component, I find really interesting for both of you. Um, I know you mentioned you went to school in New York for a while, and I know Athena, you went to like one of the specialized talent high schools here as well, for performance, right? Yeah, yeah, right. And so I'm curious. My question is, does having these like formal backgrounds within your field, did it ever come into conflict with your creative process, or has it reached a point where it feels like just something you're able to channel and funnel?
Mm.
And so whoever wants to pick it up first.
Hmm. You can go first if you have any.
I could think aloud. Well, one thing from my classical background that I think about a lot is like how I performed, because I've been playing violin since I was like 3 or 4, and I my whole life had so much performance anxiety. Um, but once I started playing in like rock bands when I was in college, I kind of lost that. And I think it came from just like there not being pressure to do this for anybody other than myself. Like when I was a classically trained violinist and vocalist in high school, I was trying to impress the students and trying to impress the teachers so that I could like do what they asked me to do and do it correctly. But as I'm playing my own songs, like my guitar is out of tune and I fuck up, but like that's on my own terms. And like I decide if my guitar is out of tune, and I mean to some extent, and I like decide if like what I'm playing is a mistake. um but I mean I'm self-taught in guitar because I've been playing violin for 15 years or whatever it was up until that point. um and I have like good vocal technique because I was trained, but uh I don't know. I think they're just like things that I get to channel in my songwriting. Like I'm not passionate about playing classical music, but I'm passionate about singing pop music, you know?
Something I find interesting on your end though, Athena, is like I know over the summer you were learning some jazz, and like it was really cool because when we would like workshop songs, I saw you actively incorporate that, and that felt like very intentional, where it feels just like a lot of like your more like formal background growing up it comes out, I think, still in your songs, but maybe a little less intentionally, and it feels like muscle memory almost. Um,
Yeah, playing jazz was fun because I felt like I was exercising a part of my brain that I hadn't in a very long time. Um, and I liked writing songs using all the jazz shapes that I had learned because it was just like another way of practicing that and having it become like instinct instead of like dr- drills that I was running while practicing like a classical instrument, you know.
Interesting.
That makes
Uh-huh.
sense.
Yeah. Jess, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Sure. So for me, when I was a really little kid, I wrote all my songs on this instrument. And so this instrument being like a Casio, that has one of those settings where it's like you can just like push one note and then all that stuff happens. And so like all you had to do is just like push one note to change the chord and then push it back. And so I feel like from a really young age, I kind of understood chord progressions and simplicity of chord progressions. And so in a way, I almost feel like I try not to like be down on my classical training, because I'm grateful for it. It's provided me like a job, and it's provided me the ability to be a stream of consciousness songwriter where I can just like close my eyes and not look at my fingers and just play whatever I hear in my head. It feels like most of it feels almost channeled, but it could just be subconscious, who knows? But it's like, feels really weird and mysterious, but it's just kind of like moves through my fingers. And that's for sure the result of training, to be able to just play anything you think. But, and not perfectly, my right hand's weaker than my left. But, so I'm grateful for it, but I think that if I'm honest, there's a solid almost 10-year tangent inside of my training where at a certain point, maybe if this was my training, at a certain point, I knew all 12 keys, all 12 chord progressions. I knew how chords and keys fit together, and I could write songs in any key. But then from there, I had a bunch of teachers. My second piano teacher got really intense with me and had me learn like a 30-page Bach concerto, for instance, and I told her within the first 8 measures, I don't like the sound of this. And she just kept telling me, you know, you're going to be great at it. And so that's 9 months of my life learning a song that, you know, I guess I don't need to relive that trauma. But anyway, I was about to play the first part. But like, you know, that was, and that's not what I'm talking about when I say trauma thriver. Those were small traumas, but like I have big ones too. Not to make it all about that, but like, and then ending up at a music conservatory, and then ending up getting a master's degree in musical theater writing just because I had written a musical. I just feel like what kind of happened to me in the training world is other people molded me. And so even though I had been writing songs since I was so young, other people kept seeing my talents and wanting to turn it into something that's theirs. And I really think that, you know, if I don't really believe in like rewriting your life in your mind, but I think there's a certain point where skills are great, and then there's a point past it where skills become like, you can become almost like a tradesperson or a servant for, I don't know. I'm not saying.
Right, it's robot. It doesn't become a tool for the self, but rather like a tool for like a conceptualization of, I suppose, like what music or an art form is supposed to be.
Yeah, so then I kind of had to come back and find where I wanted to land personally.
That's a really interesting path.
Yeah. I don't know if that was, sorry if that was long. I'm
No,
not.
no. I love learning
YouTube
about it.
are crazy long.
No, thank you. Got that a question in the chat asking if you're right or left-handed.
I'm right-handed. Wait, right-handed.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, thank you both for sharing. Okay. I'm gonna play another song. What do I have to say here? I'll throw lyrics in the chat again. This is another new one from the next album. The last one was called Pro-Life Club. This one is called Mental Health Club. There's 2 songs on the album with these club designations. Why? They both have to do with Long Island. In some capacity. I don't know why Long Island and club, what Long Island and club have to do with one another, but both the club songs have to do with Long Island. Perhaps how like Long Island feels like a separate part of New York outside of the borough, so it's like its own club. And I think most Long Islanders, and MJ could probably attest, but like Long Island is very much so its own ecosystem.
Rang? Yeah, it is.
Right, yeah. Athena wants to be on Long Island, they said in the chat.
Why?
Long Island can be very romantic, I think, in like as like an idea.
The two of us having lived here for 23 years, like, okay.
And Athena said they want to be on Long Island because their crush lives there. Well,
Worth it.
maybe we should hear more about this crush. But we'll get to that with Athena's song. Anyway, the song. Yeah, I was working in like college writing centers for a long time, and I was thinking a lot about just like the education system in this country. And when students would come in to talk to me about papers, they would also end up just talking about their whole lives with me. And I used to just say like Jorge Velez's office is the mental health club. But so I think this song is mostly about a fight I had with a friend in college who wanted to teach at like these really like nice elite schools on Long Island, and just further kind of teach, because they went to that high school and then they just wanted to further like encourage people who went to that high school. But then I would like challenge that and be like, aren't you just kind of creating a loop of people? And like if you want to like be an educator, I don't know, don't you want to think about people who could really benefit from your talents? But I think this song is about acknowledging like, you know, we can only judge people so harshly before we have to look at ourselves. This song is called Mental Health Club. She is a teacher now. She lives on Long Island. She hates my guts. Said she lacks a heart. For the lower middle class of queens. Said she lacks the empathy. She's a spoiled brat. I am a mental health club. She's a runny and said she acted white. By working in those schools, turning your back on kids of color. Looked in the mirror, thought about her, just making a living. Un momentico. I'll be right back, folks. My dad needs me.
Aw. Okay, I'm taking this over. Just kidding.
What did Jorge
They're
say?
still here.
Wait, Athena, your mic's off.
It sounded like they were saying their dad needs them
Oh, okay.
or something. I actually, when I left, I think I said this in the chat, but I left to like tell my brother to not scream while playing Among Us, because he does that, and it's really fucked up because I sleep at a reasonable hour and he doesn't let me.
How old's your
Yeah,
brother?
that is what they said.
How old am I? So he's 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, how old are you?
I'm gonna be 24 in a few days.
Happy
So close.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Happy baby. Why did I think I was like, you're 22. You guys are really close in age. Wow.
Okay, Dad's all taken care of. Dad is currently my laptop charger broke yesterday.
Did he fix it?
He was like working on it. But so embarrassed, but it's all cool.
It's
I'm
okay.
glad your dad's okay.
Oh yeah, no, my dad is just he's working for me now. He's working overtime.
That's awesome. That song is so good. Don't be nervous. Like start wherever you want to, because that was
like
really dope.
Honestly,
I was feeling it. Maybe if you want to finish it, you can, or just move on to the next one.
I'll take it from like the last little verse, and we'll see if Dad needs me in another moment. So we were at by working in the schools, turning your back on kids of color. Looked in the mirror, thought about her, just making now. She lives on Long Island. She is a teacher now. She lives on Long Island. She is a teacher now. She lives on Long Island. She is a teacher now. She lives on Long Island. And that's the end of that one. Thanks all.
Thanks to your dad for the alternate ending to the song.
That's true. We'll never hear that again. That'll never be on our record. My dad has been on a couple songs though.
Really?
Not by choice. My dad's a mechanic, and so sometimes he is fixing a car, and I'm recording at home, and we'll just get a in the background, which is very fun. We'll turn it to Athena. And Athena, if you also want to maybe take this as like a moment to talk a little bit about your new EP and what it was like to put out old songs and maybe what that experience has been like, because that's kind of been on my mind.
Yeah, so at the top of this month, we're already halfway through October. It's fucked up. Time.
Who'da thunk?
Who'da thunk? At the top of this month, I re-released the 2 EPs that I have on cassette because I'm sorry, I have these neighbors who drop shit and it's really distracting and it's noisy, but I'm gonna try my best. I released I guess a double EP on cassette in October. I was hanging out with a friend in August and I was very creatively inspired by her home. She's an artist and she just had so much cool stuff going on in her apartment. And I was like, this really makes me want to do something, but I don't really have any new music that I can release. And she was like, well, whatever you do, you should have cassette tapes. I was like, okay, but again, there's no new music. And so I came up with the idea of just re-releasing the 2 EPs that I already had on cassette, and it came together really quickly. Like I texted a friend and was like, hey, how did you just have a cassette release? And he was like, well, I just started a tape label, so if you want to be on it, by all means. So yeah, that was pretty fun to put together. I ended up making a lyric book too, where I got like 10 different friends to contribute art. And it was a fun project, and I feel pretty creatively inspired to maybe finish some new songs now that I've like had all this validation come in on the re-release of the old songs. The label's called Metaforest. Forest with a PH. They're based in New York City and Detroit. And they're like non-for-profit. So like when we got money off of selling the cassettes, we donated a third of the money. My band got another third of the money, and the final third was used to like cover the cost of making the cassettes. Yeah. So let's see, I'll play something off of that. I will play the song. It's called Goddess of Wisdom, named after myself because my name is Athena, but it's more like, it's like me talking to myself, and I'm taking the goddess Athena to be this like holier than myself figure that can like talk down to me. So I'm like, you know, just trying to like talk sense to myself. And that's what this is. Goddess of wisdom, you can't always avoid how something it's made you feel. And just because it is not what you want, it don't make it any less real. How do you deal when the thing you want so bad is not the same as what you need? I am spiraling and I'm stressed and I don't see a point. This was always grounded in finality. Goddess of wisdom, you look surprised, but you saw this coming all along. I've come to find that you can strategize, but that doesn't always make you strong. Map out an endless list of ways our talk could go, and it almost feels like I am in control. But I see your heart is in a different place from mine, and I am falling fast into a cold, familiar hole. Goddess of wisdom, you're not as wise as you always thought you were. I'm letting go of what was never mine, and somehow that still hurts. Goddess of wisdom, you're not as wise as you always thought you were. I'm letting go of what was never mine, and I know things could be worse.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love whenever you play Goddess of Wisdom. It's like the rhythm of it is like so fun, and then just like yeah, the vocal melody and the whistling is always so nice.
Thank you.
We're getting some yay Athenas in the chat. Big
That
agree.
was so good.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's a fun one to play. It's one of the last songs that I wrote where I was like just playing this pretty straightforward chord progression, and upon like doing this re-release, I really want to return to it. I don't know. It's fun to like re-release your old music with fresh ears. I recommend it to everyone who plays.
Very cool. We got some romantic vibes in the chat. We got a great whistle. Holy moly. Pseudo stick in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Athena. And we'll turn it over to Jess. And similar to the question I asked Athena about kind of putting out this new EP and revisiting songs, I kind of want to talk a little bit about your album creation process. You have like one of the like I think every time we talk, I just say it to you. Like I'm always so like impressed by your output and like truly like if I ever try to talk about songwriting to people, I say like some like goofy thing like I just feel like I can't stop writing songs and they kind of just flow out of me. But truly, like you are the one person I've met that like songs flow out of you. Like so many like for those who don't know, like Jess will always post to like social media and stuff and like was sitting in the park, decided to just write a song and improv the entire thing. Um, and yeah, she's so fantastic at it. And so I am a little bit curious about what does putting out an album mean to you, and is there any difference between like the LP or the EP, and do you feel this hurried fashion is like cathartic or yeah, is it cathartic or does it just feel like more like impulse, like necessary? What does putting out the album mean for you?
Huh. You're so good at questions. um, wow. So where I'm at right now, it changes frequently, which is probably why I started my weirdo YouTube channel. The YouTube channel was originally, back in 2017, meant just to capture a song a day for 365 days, but I started doing what are called check-in videos. I call them that. I guess it's vlogging. And I just started really enjoying tracking how writing that many songs was making me feel. And then when in 2018, I did the 12 albums in 12 months. I guess the easiest way to talk about that is that prior to 2018, doing the 12 albums in 12 months, I was one of those like release an album. I'm older than y'all. I release an album like once every 3 to 5 years. I have a lot of downtime in my writing output and a lot of chapters of my life where I didn't share songs at all. Like big chunks of time, like all of high school. And that's some social wounds that happened where I realized I got a lot of negative attention for standing out. And so I think what's happened is maybe what happens to a lot of people as they're getting older, which is just this sort of like fearlessness that just comes from feeling like I don't want to like waste my life in fear. I don't want to waste my life in like hesitation and holding back. So for instance, in 2014, I rebranded myself as Jessica in the Rainbow because I moved to Michigan. I used to release music under my name, Jessica Fogel, when I lived in Chicago. And the whole time in Chicago, I didn't put out much. And then I got to Michigan and did a very polished thing that I did a fundraiser for and spent money on, and then had another album ready to go. And I let one person's opinion kind of talk me out of pushing it forward. And so then I just did the same thing that I'd always done, which is kind of press pause and sit in doubt and fear. And why am I doing this? And am I just wanting attention? All these things. And so, yeah, you didn't really know me at that time, Jorge. So like, that's what I was coming from, is this big ball of overthinking everything and not doing. And so I always admired people that I saw who from like 16 onward were just, you know, like Daniel Johnston was one of my biggest heroes when I lived in Chicago.
Right.
Get myself to just do it. And so, yeah, I feel like what I am now, 2017 onward, is definitely a reaction to my prior life. It's a reaction of like, it's not that I think my albums are better by being more lo-fi, or sometimes they're lo-fi to the point of like, I just don't want to hold it. I want to let it go. And it even I'll know there's things that I should refine more. And I'll just be like, no, I just want to, yeah. So I don't know. I still love the polished, refined sounds of like Joanna Newsom and Sufjan Stevens and people like that. But I just have found that I love being outdoors, meandering in nature or traveling and writing songs in my car more than I like sitting in a studio. So I'm trying to see if maybe I get more studio vibes this winter again, but yeah.
Right. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. I love that. Just kind of like album is reaction and like, you know, very beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Of course. So this next song is actually, this is also from 2015. It's called Actual Light. I wrote it right when I was about to quit a big kid job with some stability in it to take a leap and teach private lessons full time. And I knew I was attracting some doubters and some fearful people. And so I was like, well, I just need to trust my own path. This is my own life. And, you know, and this song is kind of in reaction to people who were worried about me taking the leap and going on some 2-week writing residency and stuff. And I had to do it, and it was a good choice. So anyway, it's called Actual Light. I almost never play this one out. Here we go. Okay. Oh, I didn't finish tuning. Sorry.
Love the electric uke. Very cool.
It's a gift from the very sweet Bryan Ralph, who's also in Cloud Light with me. And he's also in the other room making food. And he's listening here and being supportive like his usual self. All right, here we go. Hi, Bryan.
I'm eating food.
There it is. I swear that's worse. What the heck? Sorry, everyone.
Do you need me to tune the ukulele for you?
No, it's just this little Fishman thing. The built-in tuner is so sensitive, but you have to like let each string decay for a minute before it will tell you honestly. That's better. But thank you, hon. Maybe in your memory we're just the same. Maybe in your memory we're playing some game that you wrote all the rules for. And I am just some kind of pawn in your invention. And I am not strong enough to make my own way in this great wide world. And maybe you just see me like some little girl who might need a nap, who might need a spanking, who might need a friend of their security blanket. But I'd like you to know that this is the actual show. I don't need your play. We wrote out the parts I should say, and you tell me the way to go. Every day there's still another line you think I should know, or direction to go. But I'm fine, I'm just fine. Maybe you could write your own words. 'Cause there are lines you could say. There's so many parts in the play you could play. Yeah, there are lines you could write late in the actual night, and they have nothing to do with me at all. I'm one tiny girl, but I'm not so small like you think. I'm not 10 years old. My actual soul is as ancient as turtles on some kind of long winding road. And time, all of creation, and time is a light shooting straight out of space, like actual light, not just some kind of metaphor. It goes with the light of every fiber that's in you and me, baby. We're all just these sinews and all kinds of maps that are made in our hearts, with just like veins and like rivers of blood in our bodies. We're just pieces of clay, pieces of stars, pieces of clouds, pieces of lead. We're pieces of clay, pieces of stars, pieces of clouds, pieces of lead. And how could you write a play for something so great as that?
Thank you. Wonderful. Lovely. Um, I think that song actually serves as a nice segue to the next question I have for y'all. But something and a big reason I wanted to talk to both of you as well, um, is that something beautiful I find in both of your songs. Um, it's just this vulnerability, and I think like even though there's like some sadness, like overwhelmingly like I think a positivity or a strong hope for people. Um, and I guess my question would be this: how does the vulnerability of your songs, Athena and Jess, help funnel positivity into your life? Do you see it as like a catharsis, like you're letting go of all the bad things, or do you see it as like a manifesting of positivity, or do you see it as something else? And I'll throw that question in the chat too.
I actually, I I feel like my first album was called Catalysts, or my first Jessica Name album was Catalyst, and I feel very strongly that, like, as much as I want to be a light-seeking being, I don't believe in avoidance, and I guess I've had a lot of pain in. Yeah, and I agree with what Bryan's saying. I would like to hear that question answered by Jorge too. So I guess for me, it's like a fine balance of like, I want to go through the pain and I want to go through the feelings, and hopefully there's light on the other side through facing whatever it is. But I personally, because of so much trauma in my past, I know I keep dropping that, but it's like so many things. And so I have had to really own this concept of like a trauma thriver, not just, let it own me. But so for that reason, I have to be careful not to like go into rabbit holes or black holes, like very intentionally, and really not fall down them, not believe that analyzing the worst parts of my life is a solution, because in my past that's like a reliving thing that actually made me lose years of my life where I could have been creating something new. So it's a weird, delicate balance, but going through it in song, definitely always positive. So
Thank you, Jess. Athena as well. I would love to either hear a response to that or hear your own thoughts as well.
Yeah, I really like writing the sad songs. I think that for me, a lot of it is taking these ideas that are so huge in my head and making them small by creating like 3-minute long vignettes of emotion that I get to like have and extract and share with people. And the vulnerability thing kind of like, I feel vulnerable, but at the same time, I'm like opening a door of vulnerability when I do it, because people will often tell me that they relate to what I'm saying, even though like that isn't my initial intention. So that's pretty special, and makes it easier to like say things that otherwise might be kind of hard to say. Um, yeah, just like to create a lot of connections with people through songs. Yeah, I agree with that. What Bryan said in the chat. I don't know. I guess that's my train of thought there.
Yeah, I like that you like note that little like piece about connection, and like more and more, just as I get older, I think I'm becoming more, and I'm trying not to let it dominate my life, because I think previously when I would just kind of songwrite and reflect on my own life, I think I was doing it from a very just like I can't stop thinking about the past, or I can't stop thinking about the past, and I can't stop thinking about the present, and so it's like very easy to become hyper fixated on those things. And I think in some ways I think I've let go some of that, but now I think my newest kind of fixation is like this idea of like legacy, and like what am I leaving behind. And in that way, like in the last time I did like one of these songwriter talks, I like said this point of like, you know it's why I think just like songwriters are just like such special beings. But like I feel like when we write songs and like we share them with the world, whether that's like in our recordings or live, it's almost like it's like placing a little like statue, and it's like a little statue of just like I was here, you know, and it's like our, you know, I think of just like what the song was like, or what the song is historically, and it's like this beckoning, and you know, in some scenarios like a beckoning to a person, or you know, but I think of it's like it's these beckonings to like the world and like the way that we wish the world could be, and you know, and so more and more I think I've just become like focused on just like what is this song saying to like the next person who will hear it, you know, after I'm gone, or like after like I no longer have attachment to this song. um so I don't know, I think it's been less about like processing my past and present, but more about just thinking for the future, for better or worse. But a lot of it's, yeah, just like response and like communication with people. Thank you to both of you for that. I think we can probably all do like one more song, and then just talk a little bit more. That's cool. I said one more song, and Athena's face immediately dropped from smile to like, what? But no, okay, same.
I didn't do anything.
You were smiling, and then I said one more song, and your face went from smile to like, bah. No, I think it was unintentional. But okay. I'm gonna play one song from. I'll be back a second. Dad needs me again.
What did everybody do today?
Work.
I drew this witch. What did I do? I woke up. Now I'm here.
What did you do, Athena?
I cleaned my room and watched Survivor Cook Islands.
I love it.
Where do you stream this from?
CBS All Access, thanks to Zach in the group's dad's CBS All Access account.
Wow. I need to find
Ned.
a play with that. I don't know anyone with CBS All Access.
I'm happy to report the laptop charger is working, everyone. So I will not
See, puppy.
see Papi. So I'm feeling pretty good on that end. Okay, I'm gonna do one more song. Today in New York, it's been like raining all day, and it's kind of gloomy in that sense. I don't feel too gloomy today. Just kind of like very tired and exhausted, probably as many of us feel. So again, thank you for spending some of your Friday night with a couple songwriters. But so I guess this is the gloomiest song on our EP. There's a song called Mother, and it's the last song on our EP, and usually it's very like loud and screamy, and the whole band ends it going like ah. But we're not gonna do that right now. I was, when I play old songs, I also just kind of like to throw in new lyrics. I think it, and in that same way of the conversation we were having, I think my songs teach me things about myself or what I'm thinking or where I'm at. So when I was practicing this today, I was like throwing in some new lyrics. Maybe I'll do that, maybe I won't. But so if I stumble, apologies. But this song is called Mother. Okay. It's how my mother learns to hate her body when she turns 18. No one tells her I will grow up, learn to hate my body when I am 18. Who stole her worth? Who held her back? Who took her trust? Who gave up on us? 'Cause we are victims of our bodies, and we carry that weight. And Mom, I'm sorry for how I grew up. You shouldn't hate your body. You shouldn't hate your body. 'Cause Mom, I'm trying to not hate my body. So I really need you to not hate your body. It's intergenerational, the way we talk through trauma. It's intergenerational. So I will think of my mother, how she did not deserve that, and he did not deserve her kindness. And it's not till I'm 18 do I really unpack that. 'Cause Mom, I was 15 when I gutted the body. It's intergenerational, the way we talk through trauma. It's intergenerational, the way we talk through trauma. And Mother, I will stop this when I am ready. But tell me who is ready. Tell me who is ready. Mom, are you ready? Thank you. I will say that was, and still is, but for a long time was like a very hard one for me to play. And it's one of the oldest songs that I think has existed since maybe 2016 or 2015. And there was one tour where I think we were playing that song like every night. And then like I came home from that tour and I don't think I played that song for like almost a year after that, just because like it's a lot. And I think since like maybe the last time I like played that song for people was the last time the full band played live, which was in February. So it's been a long time since I've just thought about that song and heard it. But today I felt compelled to share it. So
That one was so intense for me that I almost started sobbing, and then I just started holding my heart. And you're just wonderful.
thank
Thank
you. There are tiny, tiny tears in my eyes, but all the bisexual lighting is covering them up. But thank you, thank you, thank you all for being here. I'll turn it to Athena. Yeah, and I would just also love to hear a little bit of Athena too. A little bit about playing songs live for you and what that's like and versus recording them as well. Because I know like that song for example for me and a lot of like Fear Not songs are hard for me to feel like can I capture the recording right, or if I capture the recording right, can I catch it live right? You know, I feel like you're someone that like, you know, I feel like you are such a wonderful live performer, and now you've started to like, I mean I know you've done a lot of bedroom recordings, but now you started to do stuff as like a 3-piece and do those recordings. So I'd be curious to hear a bit more of what that transition is like for you.
I've loved finding my sound with my band because like all the recordings are bedroom recordings done with like my laptop mic, which you're hearing me through now. And I'm, you know, singing over myself a lot. There's no percussion in any of the songs that I have up online, or like any of the songs that I had up online before last year. That was when we first put out a single with the full band. But I love recording as like a tool for writing songs, and I love performance as also a tool for writing songs. Like it wasn't until I started recording my music that I realized there was so much more I could be doing all at once, even if that doesn't necessarily happen in performance. But it's definitely been fun to figure out how I can achieve different sounds in performance now that I play with a band. And my bandmates are like smart musicians who have a lot of ideas about that too. So yeah. Like I'm gonna play a really, really old song now, much older than both of these. I have a lot of friends from college here who have heard the song a lot of times.
Oberlin.
Yay,
Go
Oberlin.
Gophers.
The Obies are in the house, in their houses. Yeah, this one is very special. I feel like I'm in a good enough place to play it right now, though there have been times where that was not the case. And it's called 2014, and I have like a lo-fi bedroom recording of it, but I would definitely like to get a full band recording of this song whenever we next enter a studio. I don't know, I love being in the studio. It's super fun to hear like how hi-fi music recording stuff can serve you. Yeah, all right, and with that, this is 2014. I'm sorry I made things so hard for you. At the time I just did not know what to do. I did what I thought might help me get through. I make up for it now by making things hard for me too. I'm sorry I acted the way I did. I could have been smart, I am not a kid. When I think of our night, I am reminded. I make up for it now by acting the way that I I'm sorry that you and I can't be friends, but from how I behave, it makes perfect sense. Wish I could tie up all of our loose ends. I make up for it now with tears from the thought of you. I make up for it now. There's not much else I can do. I'm sorry that I'm still not over it. In fact, often it makes me feel frustrated. Don't know why I get so attached to things. I make up for it now by feeling the way that I do. I make up for it now. I'm lonesome and I still love you. Fuck you.
Woo! Very lovely. So good. I could just listen to your singing voice all day. Very good.
Yes.
We got a yes in the chat. So good. Thank you, Athena. Thank you for being here, and thank you.
For having me. It was great to talk with you both.
Thank you for being my friend.
Thank you for being my friend.
So we'll turn it to Jess to close out the night.
Okay.
Thank you again to the crowd for being here. I'll drop some socials down in the chat for everyone, and if you want to follow folks, throw my Venmo again, but yeah, thank you. Means a lot, and it means a lot. Okay, Jess, go for it.
All right. Let me check my levels. So this last one that I'm going to play, let me see. Uh-oh, I messed with this when I was talking about my childhood. There we go. So this is actually, I feel like this is like the one hit song that we play in Cloudlight. So I wrote this song for the band Cloudlight before Cloudlight was Cloudlight, back in 2016, almost exactly 4 years ago. Cloudlight's how I know Jorge, and that's another project. But I really wanted to play this song because I never play it by myself. It normally has these like Tegan and Sarah like harmony vocals coming every other line, like back and forth from Bryan. But really it's just because I need to get really present with the feelings in this song, because this song became one that we played at so many shows. It's called Superhighway. We played it at so many shows that I detached. I have a issue where I accidentally kind of detach from the lyrics because I get really into the music and it's a way to stay out of the anxiety. But the lyrics of this song are like straight up about Facebook fighting and 2016. And it was, I think, written in October of 2016. And I was so over it. Little did I know it was going to go on for so long, you know. But yeah, I just need to like own this song again and really feel how I feel about the futility of trying to like convince people through like a sort of aggressive approach. So yeah. All right. Yeah. I almost just got started because I saw Bryan wrote like F43, but I think he means 45. But well, I think, or unless I misunderstood. Anyway, let me just go. It's called Superhighway, and thank you for having us. I love this. Thank you, Jorge. Thank you, Athena. Thank you, everyone. A space to ramble and share feelings. That's amazing. Okay, there you go. I think I need it like a hair faster to go with my vibe right now. There we go. You're not making sense. I'm thinking of self-defense. Is this fighting worth fighting for? 'Cause I can't picture all this going anywhere but where it's going. And I can't picture all these minds just changing on their own. I'm a part of this. You're a part here too. What are we to do but just admit it? I am losing steam, preferring a dream where I can float away and just forget it. 'Cause I can't picture all this going anywhere but where it's going. And I can't picture all these minds just changing on their own. And I am growing tired of all the ways we want to tell our stories, and we can't hear the stories that are being told. Oh, I can't picture all this going anywhere but where it's going. And I can't picture all these minds just changing on their own. And I am growing tired of all the ways we want to write our own words, and we can't hear the stories that are being told.
Woohoo! I just put it in the chat, but like fantastic use of the drum fill button.
I had to
Yeah.
practice for that.
That was so good.
Thanks. My childhood self would be proud.
Oh, we're all proud. Okay, I'll stop.